Boker Tov, Yom Tov, and Lila Tov, no matter where you're at. It's Carrie. I'm actually showing my face, and yeah, you might have seen some of the pictures I've put up before. It's 10 years passing. I'm a little bit older, a little bit wiser, a little bit plumper, but definitely more wise. I'm sharing this video today, and I'm going to try to do this quickly because I have a lot of work to do to produce a video from our morning conversation that I think will really help you guys understand and bring the answer as to why in a more tangible way that you can connect to. I think it's important that we paint the vision for you so that you can then aim towards it. If we can't connect it to you, then there would be no reason why you're here. And really what we want to do from the heart is teach you guys the cipher so that you can begin digging for yourself. The work is, and it must be done through you. The only thing that we can do is point you in the direction, give you the tools so that you then can build your temple and fill it with oil and be ready to be filled with light. That's up to you. We can't do it for you. So having said that, I want to tell you what you can do to get yourself ready, but I need to lay the foundation. We did some excavating. I did some in the New Testament in the book of Revelation, and Ken was digging in the Old Testament in the book of Esther, and we came up with the same thing in different scriptures, which is beautiful because it stated it in the Old Testament, the Tanakh, and then it stated it in the Brit Hadashah, the New Testament, and it was the same thing. It's the process of becoming as far as how the teachings go. So there is 6 months of mother and 6 months of father, and it is based on the languages. One is the foundation, and then the other allows you to build the structure itself. I'm going to relate this to Esther. So if any of you have gone through the book of Esther or watched the movie One Night with a King, which I think is fantastic as a visual representation of an outward manifested story, although it was highly coded, but it does show the preparation to present ourselves before the king. She spent 6 months bathing in myrrh and then 6 months of bathing in frankincense before she was allowed audience with the king so that he could choose her, which is very, very coded as well. We can talk about that later at some point with the word Bereshit, which will be coming up pretty soon. But the 6 months of mother, the reason why it's myrrh comes from the root mar, which means to be bitter. And the reason why her teaching is bitter is we need to enter in as little children. And just like when we had to learn our ABCs, you know, at that place when we were a child, we were a sponge. We needed to learn things because we forgot everything when we came in. So we were being taught. Well, essentially, we have to do the same thing. And really, what she teaches produces humility. And humility is synonymous with teachable. So her portion is allowing you to become humble, which deals with pride, which then allows you to tame the beast ego nature, because pride and fear are all synonymous with the beast ego nature that came in from the fall when we were born into the system. What they would call original sin, even though I don't like that term, but the beast ego was attached when we came into this realm because of the fall. So mother deals with that. She tames the beast ego, and it is through the humbling process of having to start all over again to learn your Aleph Bet Gimel Dalet, what we call the Aleph Bayit Ivri. If you're interested on what that means, I would highly recommend going into the letters of the deep, because I break down the Aleph Bayit Ivri, what that phrase means. It means Hebrew alphabet, but it is much deeper than that. But we have to learn. So what she's teaching us is how to read the symbols, what the symbols contain, and the surface orientation of the sacred writings. So what I have done for you is I have created a playlist from other teachers that teach mother's teaching. I don't have time to do it. I want to get the nuts and the bolts of the cipher out of father's teaching so that you can jump into Meta-ology, which is studying the languages, the meta-languages, so that we can cross beyond what we are right now. So your homework would be then to get yourself ready for those teachings, and this is something that you need to do on your own. to make yourself ready. If we are going to go in some places that have another lockdown, as they keep telling us in the lesser narrative, that with this COVID that we are going into another lockdown, what a better way than spend your time studying to make yourself ready than spending all day on the couch doing a marathon event on Netflix, which is nothing. It's not going to contribute to your spiritual growth. So take the time and watch the video. So I put together a playlist for you to help navigate that. So the two teachers that I have specifically on there is Jim Staley and Matthew Nolan. Now, you may not agree with their presentation modes. I have had people come and say, I can't listen to this one and I can't listen to that one. Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of tough love. We need to get over that. This is a good catalyst for you to realize that you are needing to be humbled. I talk pretty straight sometimes, and sometimes people have a difficulty with that, but really time is short, so you're going to get a straight message. I don't beat around the bush, and I do it tenderly and out of love, and if I offend you or they offend you, it's just a catalyst for you to check in to see what's going on the inside. So needless to say, they will help you to deal with your pride, but the information is fantastic. So look and take away the information. Don't focus on the messenger. Hear it with your spirit and not with your head. Hear it with your heart, because they are going to teach you. Jim Staley goes through the Aleph through the Tav and tells you about the spiritual journey, which will then connect you to John chapter 1, the Word becoming flesh, and will also connect you to Revelation, I am the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end, which was written as the Alpha and Omega. There's a little bit more clarity on that on my teaching called Mother's Teaching. It's only 2 parts right now that does explain the Aleph Tav. So those are fantastic to start with. But Jim, I will tell you, he just got out of prison. So if you're offended with the fact that he went to prison, well, again, it was a catalyst. I would just check to see what's going on within your heart. He had spoken many times that he had a big problem with pride. And, we can learn through the teaching of the soft spirit by being winnowed, by learning through the spirit to change our behavior. Or sometimes we have to be threshed, which would then be the situation that he went through regarding his time in prison. But his information is fantastic. So I just figured I'd tell you that so you're not shocked whatsoever. But listen to his information. You will find it very eye-opening. The next teacher is Matthew Nolan. He's going to talk about the Melchizedek priesthood, or what he calls the mystery of the Melchizedek. Now, he has a different style of presentation, and some people are very offended by it. But again, please just listen to the information, because this is all Mother's teaching. This is how we then begin to rightly divide the word between the Book of the Covenant and the Book of the Law, and the difference between the Aaronic priesthood and the Melchizedek priesthood. And these are very important things to know about, but again, I don't have the time to teach them. So I know that he might be difficult to listen to, but the information is fantastic. On that list is also another teaching by a woman named Rachel Elior that brings forth the Qumran writings. That one really shifted me completely, and I did buy her book, and there was some things that were very, very revealing, and I can see now how important those papers would be with the Qumran community, because they had the cipher. So they would write prophetic information for us through the cipher. So if we have access or can get access to those writings in their original form, it is going to be a treasure trove, just like the Pyramid Code papers are. But I think it's a good template for you to see the difference between the priesthood of light and the priesthood of darkness, in how those things need to be reconciled in the place that we live in duality. So that is for you to do on your own time, however you want to. There's a lot of information here between I think we have like 150 videos right now, and then the other teachings, but I can't do the foundation for you. So if you want to be part on this journey, that would be your next step. Then the last person, I will put a link in the description box, would be Jeff Benner, Ancient Hebrew Research Center. He's the one that's going to teach you the Paleo Hebrew. Every Hebrew letter, which is also attached with the Aramaic, every Hebrew letter comes from Paleo-Hebrew, which were pictographs. The pictographs contained information in the symbol that the people knew by the symbols of what they saw, the information that was contained within. Our language in English does not do it, and it just whitewashes all of it. So he's going to show you the pictograph form, and then he's going to teach you the meaning behind it, such as the aleph is an ox, and it's the strength of the leader. And so all of the letters are that way. You would need to learn that. I think it would be fantastic to learn how to read the Paleo-Hebrew, because then that allows you to really decipher the emerald tablets. But what we are going to be teaching on, because I don't have access to those emerald tablets in the original writings, and they're all English interpretations right now anyway, which whitewashes it of everything that would help us, assist us to grow and change our DNA. Anyway, going back to saying that, the modern Hebrew is what we're using. So we probably will be going back to Paleo-Hebrew, but right now, all the teachings I'm utilizing is the modern Hebrew. So that is the one that's going to be most important for you to identify. But Jeff Benner's site is going to be amazing for you to at least get the Paleo meanings behind everything of it. And the Aleph Tav in Paleo, in their meanings, means the strength of the leader of the covenant, the beginning and the end, who is marked with the sign and signature frequency wave of the covenant. So pretty important. I will put that link. He has some really good books. His lexicon is fantastic because it talks about parent roots, child roots, adopted roots. It's just going to help you give a really good foundation that you can use when you begin digging out these sacred languages on your own as a good study resource. So I hope this helps point you in a direction of what's next to get you ready, because again, we all have to do our work ourselves. I love presenting this information to you because it can help shift your way of thinking to see something differently. But because I'm presenting it to you, it's great that it shifts your thinking, but it doesn't really do anything for the internal portion. That's when you have to begin excavating it. We can only give you the vision and point a direction for you to walk in, and then it's actually up to you to dig everything out on your own in order to make it change. Because what we're doing is we are becoming the third temple, which is in the shape of a pyramid, hence the pyramid codes. Mother is the foundation that you build upon. Father is the outside structure, so that you can compress light and fill it up with light, so that we wait for the activation and the crowning event. That is why, that's what the codes are revealing in the pyramid code papers if you had it. Well, we're teaching those to you. This way, you can begin to look at the sacred writings within the Hebrew and the Aramaic in their original form, and trust me, you are never going to run out of information in your lifetime, especially if we only stay limited to 80 or 90 years. You will have something to study your entire life if you start as a little child. And like for me, I'm 47. But what has happened to me within the last 4 years is unbelievable. And I can barely contain myself sometimes because of the joy and the enthusiasm and how much I've changed. So I don't want to keep you any longer because I need to get producing the other video that came from the teaching this morning that will help you tremendously. But at least I hope that points you in the right direction. Let me say thank you for everyone that has made comments on the videos. I'm telling you, I can't even begin to put into words. Many of you have made me cry because well, I'll speak for myself here. I felt very alone for a long time, and I've been trying to connect to people with this amazing language and what is being offered to us, and I haven't been able to. It's been, my stepson Jesse calls it a missed high five. You know, it's like whoosh, whoosh, and we're not connecting. And I'm finally connecting. It's like you guys are hearing us and seeing us, and we haven't been seen in a very long time, or heard in a very long time. So thank you for everything that you share. Thank you for your questions. But most importantly, I want to say thank you to everyone that has gone out there that has raised the collective consciousness through meditation practices, through yoga or Tai Chi or Qigong, or any of those things that would raise the vibrational frequency of the collective. Because without you doing that work behind the scenes, we probably wouldn't have been able to see these. These codes have come because we've all been sufficiently humbled enough, and there's been enough of us that have escaped the clutches of the American dream and materialism that we were ready for them. So without you, we couldn't see this. And without you on this channel watching the videos, it would be pointless for us to be here. So, from the bottom of my heart, and I say with the deep most gratitude and love for every one of you, Toda Rabah, Namaste, Shalom, Shalom.